7 o'clock.
I'll call this meeting to order. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ron, if we could have a roll call, please.
Yes, Mr. Garland.
Yes, here.
Mrs. Minnie?
Here.
Mr. Platzer?
Here.
Mr. Apple?
Here.
Mrs. Trumbull here.
Do we have a motion to accept our consent agenda to the total amount of 174,028.62, $174,028.62.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions or responses? Hearing none, I'd ask for a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Browlett?
Yes.
Mrs. Minnie?
Yes.
Mr. Platzer?
Yes.
Mr. Apple?
Yes.
Mrs. Trumbull, yes.
Citizens wishing to address the Board of Trustees. Seeing none, I would open for a move to approve our agenda.
I move to approve the agenda. Support.
We have a motion and support. Are there any questions or concerns? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to department reports. Mark, Fire Department?
I was reading over the cost recovery ordinance, and there's a clause at the end of that ordinance that says that the township board can adjust the rates as needed. So I don't think it has to be all the whole ordinance, all the things you have to do. But there's a clause right at the end of that. So if you read that cost recovery ordinance, it says the rates will be adjusted as needed or whatever upon the board's approval. So you don't have, I think it'll say it's all that publishing and all that stuff that has to happen when you do an ordinance. Okay, or amend
So it's
whatever you
upon
have to
the
do.
board's
If you read the end of that cost recovery ordinance, it has that clause right in the ordinance. Because last month we talked about adding a couple of things. So I just went through that and I read the clause at the end and that's why it's in there. So we don't have to make a whole new ordinance every time we have to adjust the rates. So if you guys read that over, then I think it'll help you getting that set up or whatever you have to do.
Okay.
Other than that, that's all I have.
Okay. I guess while we're on the fire department, the board, in our last meeting, was brought up and we made a motion that I contact our attorney to talk to Burtchville Township. Well, things have happened pretty fast and furious, not as fast as we'd like them, but they have paid their standby fee. They have paid down their debt by, what, Caroline, maybe $1,600, $1,500, $1,600.
I don't think so.
I know it's 800.
They
Yeah,
gave us
800, it was 800.
That's 800 that I know of.
But I thought they sent us another check too.
Well,
If they did, that had to be about Thursday.
We tracked that down, and that was for a refund from our More Medical account. It said some kind of insurance, Zurich Insurance.
Right.
I thought it was that. It was from More Medical. Why I don't know how they do it anyways. So it wasn't through Worth.
Well, anyway, the board asked me to, convey to our attorney that we need to have a contract. And that is in the works right at the present time. So I just want everybody to know that hopefully maybe within a week we'll have at least a contract that they'll send to us, and I may have a special board meeting to approve or disapprove, whatever. Okay. Building department. Al, you got anything?
Just the report that's in their packets.
Okay.
We're going to review that.
It's necessary. Okay. Water department. Our water department man is off sick. He's going to be off for a week. He has some kind of back problem. He was on vacation all last week, and he hurt his back before he left for vacation. And hopefully he get rested up. But he isn't any better. He rode in the back seat all the way home on his back in the back seat of a car from Florida. So when he went to the doctor when he got home, so the doctor just had him stay off work for next week, so. I'll be getting Kevin's lawn care to take care of our snow plowing as needed while he's off. Pick up some of the work, over at the library and here at the township hall.
Did you,
We weren't open today.
did,
No, we won't hold you today.
did, Dusty talk to Kevin to make sure that he was gonna?
He was gonna go, yeah. So, he'll cover for him on the water, and he also.
Yeah, he does that.
He's on there,
Just
doing the plowing,
doing
whenever,
his day.
if we get a big snow or something. Well, no, because I'll get Kevin, our lawn care people to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, Jane, the library.
I want to thank the board for the new storage closets. It's nice to have both shelves and rooms to store the parts in.
Well,
Matt
nice
was
when
good
they're
about
finished, won't it?
Yeah, Matt was very good about putting the shelves at the height that we asked him to, so we
Right.
can put our carts in underneath the shelves, and it's working quite well for us in our area. There had been some discussion one time on cleaning of the library, like if the hallway or something had needed more cleaning. And the response I got when I contacted my supervisors at the library system was that if I recommend to the township that the facility needed to be cleaned more often due to the increased use, and you as a group concur, the library system would reimburse for that. But truthfully, I've watched the salt come into, or not come into really, the entryway this year and that, and I really don't think at this time that it needs an extra cleaning. It doesn't seem like we're getting as much salt in that entryway as we have on occasions before. I don't know whether it's just where he's placed the salt that's coming off people's feet before they actually get in or what, but I'm not seeing those big heavy tracks that we saw a year or so ago, whenever anybody would come in or whenever the delivery people would bring their carts across or something. So I don't know. At the present time, I don't know what other time she would come in. She manages to come in, I suspect, Monday mornings and Thursday mornings before we open, or either late Sunday night or early Monday morning before we open. I really don't know that there would be another good time for another full cleaning anyway, and so far it seems to be getting, the waste baskets emptied and that kind of thing. And as long as we have access to things like paper towel if we run out and that kind of thing, I don't think at this time we need an extra cleaning.
Well, if you do, let us know, just give us a call.
Okay. And this may, I'm not sure, this may be the last time you have to put up with me at one of your board meetings. Now that the library is open until 8 o'clock on Monday nights, I'm not sure that they will permit me to leave. They have a thing about there being 2 people there, and so I don't know whether I'll be allowed to leave Kelly, the ABL, with just Will, the page, or whether I will have to stay, so.
Well, you just send us a report and we'll
Right,
report
I'll
it.
give
told
some
Jane,
information to Cindy if there's something.
I told Jane that if she wasn't able to come, that I'd make sure I got whatever it was and bring it.
Okay.
And if for some reason you need to, you're done at 8,
Yes.
if we knew you were coming, I mean, even if you were done at 1:45, we can, there's so much stuff we can talk about and do.
And I'm thinking too that there's a chance that actually they may let me sort of just kind of come, duck in, duck back out, just so that, I think the issue would be that they wouldn't want her closing by herself.
Okay.
And it's not like, we put you at the end of the meeting.
No, obviously tonight, 10 minutes would have done it. So. It's fine. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Unfinished business, Old Township Hall renovations.
Well, we just heard about all I know about it from Jane. The closets are pretty well coming along, other than they're not painted on the inside yet, I'm sure. Or are they?
Well, actually, when he put that drywall up, he had another couple in helping, and they did.
They painted?
Yeah.
Did
Okay,
they paint
good.
They
paint
did.
the shelves?
The problem,
Well, the shelves, yeah,
the shelves are not painted, but I don't know that that's something he's going to do.
I think
is it?
so, but I don't know either for sure.
I don't think so. the problem, as I say, is in, right now, is in the lighting, because whatever wiring he ran to the switches, he thought he tested it and it was live when he ran it, and then kind of he went to flip the switches and nothing is happening, so
Maybe we need
he
to
felt
get our
he needed to
electrical
get
guy
into
to,
the attic probably to see if he can trace back why it isn't doing that, or wire it to something that is live, so. That, we're using the storage cabinet, we just don't have any light in them.
Okay.
Okay,
He hasn't done anything to any other parts of the room that, like, he hasn't torn out those old ones that should be torn out there in the corner or any of that kind of thing. He hasn't done anything with any of that kind of thing yet that I can see.
Right.
have you talked to him at all about the exterior? Is he gonna move right onto that, or?
Well, that was supposed to happen a month ago, but the weather hasn't been
Well, yeah, the weather
cooperating
hasn't been conducive. to
too
that.
much. Yeah, he wanted to get at those windows, begin those windows a month ago, and it just hasn't been too handy.
If we have nothing else on that, the next point of business would be signing our community planner management agreement. You know, it's the same thing as we had before, the same manager. And has everybody got a set of, I don't think, they haven't gone up, I don't think.
No, this is the same fee that we've had since
We've had
2009. It's just that we would have a different person instead of Brian Wilson. We would have actually the owner of the company, Patrick Mahar. Mike and I talked with him. I think he will do a good job for us. I think he's a lot like Brian. They don't seem to be overly aggressive, which we've never wanted. And most of these fees are recoverable fees anyway. So again, it's the same schedule. I recommend that we stay with this company for the planner.
You putting that in the form of a motion? Or?
I could do that. Is that what we want?
Well, I don't know, is there any other discussion, I guess? They do a good job, I mean, they come and, you know, when you need them. Al, you're on the planning commission, what are you?
Yeah, that's fine. Just,
Is the planning commission happy with them?
yeah.
I was on when we got them. I was always happy with them.
I've attended a couple of meetings where he's been, he seems to be very thorough.
Well, I will do it in the form of a motion. Maybe that's what we should do, because right now we're kind of in flux. We needed to update, I guess, with them since we're changing people in the company. So I move that we remain with Community Planning and Management PC with Patrick Mahar as, his name isn't pronounced like it's spelled, but Mahar as our planner.
I'll second that motion.
Can we get this date changed to 2013,
Probably wouldn't hurt.
so it's not an issue?
Yeah, we should have it, the
Yeah.
planning fees updated to 2013.
Mhm.
I'm sure they can do that by email.
That'd be the only thing that I would.
Right.
I guess you want to stipulate in that,
Mhm. In the motion?
in the motion, to update it to
Yes.
date from 209 to 213.
Yes.
He'll get a jar then, if those aren't his rates, he'll pick that up then, I'm sure. I'm sure. And then we may have to redo it, but I think,
I just talked with him Wednesday or Thursday. This is what he was planning on sending us, so.
no, he's very good to work with, I think, so. Well, we have a motion on the floor in a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I'd ask for a roll call vote, please.
Okay, Mrs. Tremble, yes. Mr. Apple?
Yes?
Mr. Brylet?
Yes.
Mrs. Minnie?
Yes.
Mr. Platzer?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, next on the agenda is our Township Zoning Administrator and Zoning Enforcement Officer. I've talked to 2 or 3 different people. Friday, I talked to Mike Riley. You know Mike Riley? No? He's Marysville's zoning administrator, and he also does it for Four-Year Township. And he's very willing to talk to us and short of calling a full meeting, we could have a couple guys, you know, I'm gonna talk to him on Friday, he couldn't get up here until Friday. So, and we don't have a time set yet for the meeting either, a time that he's gonna call me with a time when he could be free on Friday. I said I can meet him almost any time on Friday, it didn't matter. So, there's somebody who wants to volunteer to sit in on that meeting,
I will,
okay?
unless somebody else wants
And
to.
I could back out if somebody else would like, you wanna sit in on?
But I don't need to.
Huh?
I don't need to if somebody wants to.
Jody?
Well, this would just be an interview.
It's just an interview to find out, you know,
Mhm.
you know,
Is-
to work out some basic arrangements, find out what, you know, what
We're
he
not hiring.
expects. and, you know,
Just the
we're
two of
not-
us?
Well, we're not hiring anyway, it's the
No.
board's decision, it's not
Has to
our
be at a
decision,
meeting.
but just to interview him. And if we're serious about it, we'll invite him to a meeting, you know. If that's acceptable to the board.
Mhm.
It's fine.
Do we have any other candidates at this time?
Were you gonna try to use him as enforcement also, or?
Well, there's a couple ways we're gonna talk, I don't know, you know,
we've been
we're talking about
Separating them,
Bill from Fort Gratiot.
yeah.
And, well, let's see what kind of an offer he comes up with for us,
Okay.
you know, and then I think we'll talk to Bill. What did you ask me, Caroline? Somebody
I don't
asked
know.
me something, and I just
Doesn't
got,
matter.
flew away from me.
Were there other candidates? That was.
Oh, were there other candidates? Yeah, Bean.
Oh, yeah, Gary Bean.
Was interested in it. Now, I think he's a builder, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't think that would be a wise thing,
Why is that?
because he's a builder. He's in business. I don't think it'd be wise for me to do it, you know, that could be a conflict, probably.
Well, it might be somewhere along the line, you know.
Mike Riley, he's also a building inspector, so.
Is that a conflict? I don't think
Building
so.
inspector? No, that might be an advantage.
Mhm, mhm.
He could actually work, you know, Tom's on vacation, he could.
I think the reason Mike is interested in this is because he worked full-time for Marysville, and Marysville cut back, they cut their,
Well, he's
They
also
cut it
working
back.
for Burtchville Township, so
cut it
he's
back to
spreading out.
20 hours, so,
There's a lot going on, so.
yeah. So. Okay, is there any other?
And the other one is
discussion?
Bill Shagney? Bill Shagney, is it?
Yeah, Bill Shagney for zoning, it would be an enforcement officer.
Not the zoning administrator.
No,
No.
he's not interested in the zoning administrator's job. Okay, moving on. Oh, we discussed the Worth Township fire contract. Hopefully, we'll hear this week.
We have a meeting Wednesday. We have a meeting Wednesday, I don't know.
They have a lot of meetings, but nothing ever comes so fruitful.
I know there's things that township board can do 220.
They just had one, too, but
They probably have to have a lot going on up there.
I would think.
Pardon me. Okay, moving on to the new business. The poverty exemption guidelines for the board of review and the previous asset test, which is, we need to do this for the state, we need to update to the new asset test, so I think we do that by resolution, Carolyn, or?
That is not, I asked Shelley about that, and she said, we just need to adopt this as an update, which I was told.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we adopt the poverty exemption guidelines options set forth by the State Tax Commission.
I'll second.
And what these guidelines are is they're for poverty exemptions, and people need to, it's quite lengthy. I mean, they need to file a full-fledged report, all their assets, all their bank accounts, who's living under their roof, and the whole works for a tax exemption, so. And it's imperative that we have that in place for our board of review in March.
When do you That's when they are discussed at that time or prior to that?
Well, they're actually discussed, I look them over,
Okay,
I and the assessor, we look them over, and then we make a recommendation, you know, then the board of review looks them over, you know.
okay.
And what this asset test is, if they bring them in, and if they don't make a full disclosure, you don't allow it, the state just will not allow, you know.
Do we have many?
We've had,
A couple.
we've had a couple.
Well, I mean, I didn't think we had a whole lot.
No, we've had two. So, if they don't, if they don't disclose, they just don't, you know, we don't allow it, that's all. Okay.
We need to vote on that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's ayes and nays on that because it's not a resolution.
Okay, I guess all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Supervisors report. I don't have much. I've reported everything that I had to report. Caroline?
Same problem. I reported everything I needed to report too.
Jody?
The only thing is, Jessica will be starting next in March on the.
Whatever day Tuesday is.
Yeah, I don't have a calendar in front of me,
She's starting on March 1st, like, or whatever?
but, yeah, is that a Monday?
I don't know.
Good. I don't know, but
I didn't bring
I'll
my
get you the
calendar.
March
information.
1st is Friday.
No, it's gonna be the 4th.
March 1st is Friday. She's starting on the 4th.
Fourth, and I think she's working that first week, and then pretty much it's just one day a week through March, and then she starts full-time April 8th, I believe.
Mhm.
Other than that, the only other thing is probably the timing isn't real good on this, but we should probably change the date on our agenda. 2013, 'cause
Oh.
January's
Well,
the same way.
also, the numbers are wrong, I noticed. Sorry about that.
Bob, I asked if you had the right agenda.
I know,
Sorry about
a
that.
year behind.
That was a trick.
A trick question?
Must have been.
I noticed the numbers didn't match, but.
No, I already changed
You
those.
said February 18th, and I didn't look.
So we're in a warp here. Okay, Cindy?
I really don't have anything. Our road meeting is next week,
Next Wednesday, 27th.
27th. Okay.
3:30.
And now,
No, I have nothing else.
does anybody have a report on how the township, how the county meeting went?
The
Friday
dinner?
night? So it's a,
We should have taped the speeches.
Yeah,
Phil,
Sorry.
I believe was there, Phil?
Yeah, he was real disappointed that he didn't answer like
actually,
I'm sure he was.
he only talked a few minutes.
Yeah,
It was the other
Bill
one that
Kaufman.
put everybody else to
Oh,
sleep.
Bill.
Mhm.
I'm sorry.
I haven't seen anybody, and I was dying since I wasn't there.
I'm
I
sure.
don't know exactly what went on at that.
I hooked up to you like Jody did.
Nothing.
Well, was the dinner at least good?
Yes,
Dinner was good.
Well, then
Yeah.
there's some
Good
good,
fish.
some good came out of it,
good
right?
fish for Friday night.
Okay,
Tough to hang on to a glass of water, though.
you only had water to drink?
You had to, you couldn't finish it. After dinner, they gotta clear the tables.
Oh.
You had to hang on to it, else they took
They
it.
grabbed it.
Grabbed it
yeah.
and away it went, eh? Okay, moving on, extended public comment. Is there any extended public comment? Okay, would somebody like to make a motion to adjourn?
I moved to adjourn.
Second?
Record time.
Motion to adjourn in a second, all in favor?
Wait a minute,
Aye.
wait a minute, wait a minute. Do we need to set a meeting for the budget before we adjourn?
Hold off, we can't adjourn yet. Yes, we do need to set a final budget. Hopefully we can wrap this whole thing up, so.
Well, you need to look it over really well. I
Is
will.
it? You just got it done
It is, but you don't have a final copy of it.
But she, I mean, all you gotta do is print it, so.
But the thing is, and I didn't make you copies tonight, and I need to do that and get them into your boxes. We are over budget, and we need, as far as I'm concerned, we need to reduce some things. We're 53,000 over our expected income.
That won't be hard to do.
To reduce it?
53,000?
Yeah, but we've already taken a few, we've already taken a few cuts out, Al,
Yeah, we already took some on the roads.
and the
But
water.
I think, well, I think that's something we'll discuss at the budget meeting.
Yes.
I mean,
But you need to be looking at it. Other than the fire department and the water department, they're in pretty good shape.
I would really like to do that next week sometime.
That wouldn't be a bad idea.
You know, before the end of the month, and then that's gonna give us.
I gotta get my
if there are some
calendar.
Hitches or anything else that involved in it, it's gonna give us the first week in March to go over it and get that thing all put together. You know, we may need to have one more meeting, I don't know if we're gonna,
Well, we
depending
just,
how.
Well, can we do it on the 27th,
which is,
Oh, God,
that morning?
the 27th is what?
No, that's not good for you?
yeah.
27th is
Oh,
Wednesday.
That's fine. But-
No, I can.
Oh, don't. We can do it some other time. I
Well,
just-
if we,
Could we do it Tuesday?
Which is the
I can't.
26th?
I can't
Okay,
do-
well then
I
we'll
can't
do,
do
I
it on
can,
Tuesday or Thursday, so.
okay, I can do it Thursday, I'll just adjust.
Wednesday or
on
Thursday?
Wednesday,
Wednesday, 27th
Wednesday the
at
27th,
9 AM?
9 AM. Is that good for you, Jody?
Yep.
Okay, let's set it for the 27th, Wednesday at 9 AM.
Our road meeting's that afternoon?
Yep.
Our road meeting is,
That's what I thought.
is the road meeting on Wednesday or Thursday?
Wednesday.
It's Wednesday.
3:30,
Mhm.
I thought.
You're shooting your workday anyway.
Yep.
9 o'clock.
9
9?
o'clock.
You sure it's okay for you?
Yeah. As long as we're done by noon.
There you go.
I would hope so. We were done before noon, working the whole thing through.
Hopefully we're done by 10.
Well, that's.
Just be looking, when I get your budgets into your mailboxes, just be
I
looking
think there's
at,
really only, there's probably only 5 or 6 items there where we really need to.
Okay.
see what we can do.
See what-
No, I can readjust. Not a
Thank
problem.
you.
Now I move to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Nay? Thank you very much.